Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister who helped us with this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello, how are you? I am Pastor Temba, not his real name. And for many years, I have lived with a secret that has been eating away at my soul. I stand before my congregation each and every Sunday, even though when I'll be preaching the word of God, deep down I know that as a man of God, I have felt my people. My hands, they are stained, not with blood, but with the consequences of the choices that I made long time ago, choices I now deeply regret. It all started, Brother Nashi, when I met this other man through one of my friends. So I was trying to earn an extra income. So my mom, she had her own home in the location where we grew up staying at. Don't want to mention the name of that place just in case. So then my friend told me that he was making good money. He said that all that you need to do is to renovate your mom's house, put some back rooms, and you'll see that you'll be earning an extra income. So that was what I did. I spoke with my wife, and my wife was more than happy. She agreed, and she said we needed to do this. But we then contacted some other guys, some local builders that have construction companies, because I wanted something that was up to standard. But those guys, they were more than expensive, and we were unable to have them come and build these back rooms. So in that location, I then spoke with some of the guys from Zim. After I had spoken with a lot of them, they gave me the quotation until I chose what was cheap. So this guy, he was someone who was a builder. And at that same time, when he came into my life, the guy whom we had given that small project of building this back rooms at my mom's house. This was in 2007. My ministry as well was struggling. I had always been dreaming of building a large and a successful church that was going to attract a lot of my people. But things were not going as I had hoped. The church was not growing that fast. Financially, we were barely scraping by. The pressure to succeed was too much, especially in the eyes of my peers and the community. I was seen as that pastor who was just running a small church, just a small tent in the community. That was when this guy started working for me. At first, I did not even know that he was a Zangoma. As someone who was a Christian, I would have never hired such a man who does not believe in what I believed in to come and do this project for me. This man, he told me that he comes from a village deep in Rusape in their country. So he became almost like a friend of mine. So when we were talking, that was when one day I went there with another friend of mine who was a pastor. So I wanted him to see the progress because I wanted to borrow some money from him. So before I could borrow any money from him, I wanted to go with him there so that he can understand that this was what I needed to use the money for. So when I got there, I saw him speaking with this man, and then they exchanged phone numbers. I thought that maybe he wanted to convert him to his church because he was going to the Red Garment Prophet Church. So after that, then later on, this man, he told me that he was going to Zim. To Zim to do what? That was when this man returned back. And when he returned back, when we went to pick him up at the airport, I could sense that there was this other spiritual force that seemed to be surrounding him. And he then started preaching and doing some miracles, and people started donating gifts to him. And within a very short period of time, he was now wealthy. And when I went to him, I wanted to understand what was going on in his life. How come God had blessed him in a very short period of time like that? It was when he said, don't you know that you have a traditional healer who can assist you? So, Brother Nashi, that was what I did. I then went and I spoke with this Sangoma. And after we had spoken, that was when he said, it is fine, you can go with me to Zim. So we waited until I had enough money. I had to travel. Me and this man, we traveled together. The Sangoma promised me that if I performed a certain ritual, I was going to experience rapid growth in my ministry, along along with financial blessings. My wife at first, whom I'll call Tandi, not her real name, she was scared, but I assured her that this was necessary for our future. So me and my wife, after we had raised enough money, she then said, it is fine, you can go. I went with this man to his village. It was nothing like I had expected. The Sangoma told us that we needed to make a sacrifice, not a physical one, but this was going to be a spiritual exchange. Then this was going to be a spiritual exchange. He said that when my wife was going to fall pregnant again, then the child that she was going to give birth to, she was the one, or he was the one who was going to carry the weight of the ritual. The baby was going to be born with a curse, and we would have reaped the rewards. At that time, my wife was not yet pregnant, but we were planning to have another baby. We foolishly agreed, believing that whatever that was going to come, we were going to be able to handle it. So the ritual, Brother Nashi, I don't want to lie to you, it was so painful. The traditional healer then performed the ritual. This is how this traditional healer performed the ritual. He took a needle and he made me to take out my manhood. After I had taken out my manhood, then he took that needle and he started stabbing me with that needle. It was very painful, but he had given me some herbs. After blood had came out of my manhood, that was when he took the blood, mixed it with some charms, and after he had mixed it with some charms, then he started to rub it again on my manhood. He told me that I was not supposed to bath until I had returned back to my country. As dirty as I was, I then returned back to my country, and then I slept with my wife just like the traditional healer had instructed me to do. When I had slept with my wife, she did not fall pregnant immediately. Then a year later on, that was when my wife fell pregnant. Our daughter was born, whom I'll call Mbali. She was born, but she was a crippled one. The doctors did not even understand what had gone wrong, but we knew that this was part of the deal that we had agreed on when we were performing the ritual. So we could not have any children after that, and we were told that we were supposed to hide this from everyone. We could not even tell anyone the truth. How could I, a pastor, admit to seeking help from a Sangoma and making a deal that had cursed our own child? We were too ashamed. So we concocted a lie. We told everyone that Mbali was not our daughter, but Tandi's younger sister's child. We pretended to be raising her out of charity. It was a terrible lie, but we were desperate to protect our reputation in the ministry. For years, we have hidden Mbali away, ashamed of her condition and of ourselves. When I look at her, she is growing. She is innocent. She suffers each and every day. It breaks my heart to know that we caused all of this, and no amount of success or wealth can ever make up for the pain that we inflicted on her. The church might be flourishing, but my spirit, I don't want to lie to you, my spirit, it is totally broken. I preach about the love of God, but I have lived in deceit and shame. My wife and I, we are haunted by the choices that we made. We do not even know how to make things right, and we do not even know how to approach our daughter so that we can tell her that we are her parents. This is my own confession, Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. She is the one who gave us this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.